because the real Kveik produces the flavor, and that's when you build it up with the hops, so you don't have to use so much hops with Kveik.
This week I really got a great conversation for you all. I got to talk to some of the commercial brewers here in Norway that actually are accepted and somehow respected by the traditional farmhouse brewers here in Norway. We got the chance to talk about Kveik, traditional farmhouse techniques and how to implement it in modern styles, for example double IPA. So I give you Bygland. Welcome back to Another Route, a beer channel here on YouTube that's all about traditional farmhouse brewing, techniques and way of thinking, and how to implement it in your modern brew house. And as I said, I really got something good for you today. I finally got the chance to sit down with a brewery that seems to have traditional farmhouse brewing, modern styles and new innovative beer styles really going for them. And all done with Kveik. And this will be the first episode of 2. We will be talking about Kveik today, how they think when they combine Kveik and hops and modern techniques and traditional techniques. So yeah, let's just go into it.
Thank you, we've been looking forward to it as well. We are Bygland Bryggeri, basically, and I'm Torkjel. Started the brewery, and not so long after I got to know Kasper through our common interest in Kveik. And yeah, you can tell a few words about yourself.
My name is Kasper, and I'm the recipe designer in Bygland Bryggeri. Mostly the modern beers. I'm designing the recipes, and Torkjel is designing the old history beers that we have.
Because that's for me the most interesting part of what you do, because you both have the traditions and the new innovation and combine it. And can you say something about your lineup here? Because I think this is really showing why you guys are so interesting.
Yeah. So here we have a lineup of both pure traditional beers and well, modern styles, but using Kveik. So we start here. We've started a series called For the Love of Kveik, where we kind of wanted to show people who cannot travel here to Hornindal what is the original beer all about. So we've basically used almost the same recipe for this. It's a raw ale, means it's not boiled, but different Kveik. So here we have Farmhouse, which is from Stordal, just a bit north of Hornindal, and Espe from Hornindal, actually. So this is meant to showcase original Norwegian beer and the difference between the Kveiks, what it really can do. And also this is raw ale, pure raw ale, which is something that not a lot of people have tasted, and there's not a lot of it in the market. So yeah, this IPA.
Session IPA.
Agnesyngen means dragonfly, I think. It's the third or fourth batch, but we made a new recipe this time. Maybe Kasper wants to tell a bit more about it.
The first recipe was a little bit too bitter, so we changed the recipe and went for El Dorado and Brew 1 and Sabro. So here you get the taste of candy floss and coconut and Then we used Lida Kveik and Stranda Kveiken, which produces a lot of stone fruit. So it's basically we tried to find some hops that produces a lot of stone fruit, and this is one of the beers that I'm really proud of. It's all new.
And almost all sold out, I guess.
Yeah.
At least at this festival. We had some luck with the Stranda Kveik. We made another IPA called Vettere Braute,
Yeah.
which means the Milky Way. It was sort of our 50th anniversary beer, so we wanted to make something special. So that's using Galaxy and Nelson Sauvin hops, and it's like went pretty crazy this summer, where we won VG's best IPA in their summer beer test with 96 out of 100 points, and that was really meant a lot to us, because we want to show the world that you can make not only traditional beers with Kveik, but you can make awesome modern styles like IPAs with Kveik. And the great thing about this is, like, they've been tasting that not knowing it was Kveik, right? Blind tasting, just alright, this is the one we like the most, and it was Kveik. So that's what we're really working for.
That meant a lot to us.
Yeah, to show the world what Kveik can do, because some people might have tasted one beer with Kveik and maybe it wasn't their favorite, and they think, oh, I don't like Kveik, but hey, it really depends on what you do with it and what kind of beer you make.
Yeah.
It's you can't just take one Kveik and just put it in a beer and say it's good. You really have to combine it with hops and specific hops with specific Kveik. It's really important when you do modern beers.
So through the years now we've gotten to know a lot of the different Kveiks, how they taste, what they can do. So when we compose these recipes, we have a better foundation to make choices for hops and Kveik that goes well together, for example.
Yeah. Do you have some examples for me? Good hops that combined with Kveik, the right Kveik?
I think it's...
especially with Stranda Kveiken, which produces a lot of stone fruit. If you do Nelson hop, Nelson Sauvin, which is a lot of grapefruit, it produces a lot of stone fruit, I think. And these two combined is very, very good.
Go as it goes.
I think that's also a good point, that we're not overdoing the amount of hops in an IPA.
That's true.
So that
we see a lot of breweries that thinks that more is better. Yeah. But if you combine it with the best Kveik with the best hops, you don't have to use a lot of hops. No. You don't have to. Because the real Kveik produces the flavor, and that's when you build it up with the hops. So you don't have to use so much hops with Kveik.
Yeah.
The right Kveik, though.
Yeah.
And this Farmhouse Kveik is one of the most, like, has a lot of tropical fruit flavor. Like even this beer that has nearly no hops, you get that tropical fruit flavor, which is amazing. So that's also a really good Kveik for IPAs. So we're using it in one of our best seller, Møykjerringi, which is a dry hopped raw ale. We're using
maybe you should tell the history about Møykjerringi, because that made a long way. First time in Stavanger.
Yeah. It back in 2019.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Sur og bitter in Sandnes. It's a beer festival that where there are two categories: sour and bitter. Basically, sour beers or IPAs, you could say. And then it was kind of new, that beer, and we won best IPA in that festival. And that was one of the first times we were like, oh wow, we're doing something right here, perhaps, because there were maybe around 80 other IPAs at that festivals from different breweries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and big breweries.
And big breweries. Like we're just very small in comparison.
Yeah.
And then we won also a tender at Vinmonopolet for, well, they were looking for hopped beer with Kveik.
Yeah.
So we have that. Okay, we'll send it in. And it won. Yeah. Won the tender. And at the moment it's gone through to the next round in Norsk Måltid, which is kind of Norway's Oscars for food and drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So that beer's done a lot for us.
Yeah.
And this is the modern IPA that's brewed with old traditional techniques because it's raw ale also. So that makes the beer really a full-bodied IPA. You get so much flavor and so much body on the beer because you keep the proteins when you make it raw ale instead of boiling it.
Yeah. Yep, that was the first episode. And if you're eager to see more already, I recommend you see one of these videos next. And safe travels, traveler.